So having covered what the management team may look like in the future, we now turn to the slightly technical matter of how you own your business. Let's imagine that Jodie Bell sets up a lemonade stand on her own as a business. She buys the lemons, makes the drinks with her Grandma Evie's recipe, and sells the lemonade at her school. Grandma Evie is amazing in the kitchen, and the extra ingredients she includes make the lemonade taste delicious. All the profit that Jodie Bell makes is hers. But if something goes wrong, and she suddenly owes loads of money to someone, and she hasn't got that money to pay, she has to pay for it by herself, using her money in the piggy bank and ultimately risking everything, whether it's included or not included in the business. From the start, Jodie Bell has been running her business as a sole trader. She owns the business directly by herself in her own name, and she bears any risks if things go wrong. But now, in an attempt to protect her personal money that wasn't in the business, instead of running the business as a sole trader, Jodie Bell creates a company called Jodie Bell's Lemonade Limited, and she puts her business into the company. It's a very important point, because by putting the business into the company, although she still owns the company, she will be protecting her personal assets, including all the money in the piggy bank, if anything goes wrong in the business. And that's a major reason for entrepreneurs to protect their own backsides by making sure that you have what's called limited liability that's provided by the company. You can only lose what you've put into the company, and anything goes wrong, they can't get access to your personal savings. And instead of investing directly into the business while she owns it, she transfers that business into a company and then invests into that company, which protects her own assets. If Jodie Bell's business makes a profit, she'll record that profit within the company and then take money out from the company in one of the ways we'll look at later. If the business doesn't perform well, and for whatever reason it needs more money, the only money it will have access to is the money that's within the company, and any claims or problems within the business will not extend to Jodie Bell's personal life, and the business won't be able to access her personal money because it's in a company. The maximum amount of money that Jodie Bell will ever lose is the amount of money that she invested into her business through the company. She won't be personally exposed if her business fails. If you own your business through a company, it can be more complicated and the startup costs will be higher. But the massive benefit is that you won't have the personal liability of having to pay with your own cash if things in the business go wrong. And that's why so many businesses in the UK of any notable size are held within companies. It's an important point, so let's have a look at another example. Mick was very glad that he'd set up his business within a limited company. He had a business building huge scaffolding towers, and one day, a huge tractor belonging to Farmer Lynn came rolling down the hill and clattered into one of Mick's 20-metre towers. Now, unfortunately for Mick, the tower didn't just fall onto a piece of discarded wasteland. Instead, it fell onto Jesse's new Italian restaurant. Jesse was a former doctor who turned into an entrepreneurial chef, selling some of the very best pizzas in town. Jesse was very, very unhappy. He went to his lawyer and ended up going to court, asking Mick for over £2 million to rebuild his restaurant. Jesse wanted to be paid for the damage that Mick had caused, but fortunately for Mick, he'd started his business within a limited company. So when Jesse tried to claim his £2 million for something that wasn't even Mick's fault, he could only lose the money that he'd invested into the company. Mick had invested about £10,000, and it wasn't ideal he would lose that, but he was pretty relieved that he didn't also have to sell his house, sell his cars, and even sell his new drone to pay Jesse, as he had the protection of limited liability from having his business in a limited company. Companies can be created quickly in most countries. The same concepts exist irrespective of the country in which you're trying to start your business. There's always tax to consider when choosing how to hold your business, and to begin with, you'll almost certainly be a sole trader. But a broad awareness of what a company actually is and the benefits it may provide are the only important takeaway for you at this early stage of your journey.
Back at the beginning of the series, we talked about why entrepreneurs started their businesses and why businesses exist. And a big theme that came out of those episodes is that most entrepreneurs want to make money. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. And if your business isn't a company, and if your business is profitable, you've got two choices. Number one, reinvest the profits to help the business grow. And that's what we called organic growth. Or two, take the money out of the company for personal use and spend it on whatever your heart desires. Clothes, V-Bucks, the latest gear on Amazon, holidays, cinemas, partying, supporting cause close to your heart, or maybe even for the private jet one day. But with money in the company, you'll find there are three main ways to get the money back out of the company and back into your hands so that you can spend it. The first way to get money out is by what are known as dividends. Dividends are payments made from the company's profits to the company's owners, who are known as the shareholders. Dividends are often taxed at quite a low rate, so they're attractive insofar as they allow the shareholders to get more money back from the company after paying tax. The downside with relying on dividends is that if your company has had a bad year and you make no profit, you aren't allowed to take out any dividends. During those years, you'll be paid no dividends out of the company. And the second way to get money out of a company and into your own hands is by what's known as a salary. A salary is a fixed payment from a company to someone who's working there, known as an employee. And even though it's your business and you may own the company, you can still be an employee and still pay yourself a salary. In fact, many entrepreneurs do. And the attraction of a salary is that it's regular and predictable. And each month, your salary should arrive in your personal bank account, which will allow you to go and spend your money as and when you choose. The downside with taking your money out as a salary is tax. Tax on salaries can be pretty high, and it'll be your accountant who looks at that for you down the line, I suspect. But for now, just remember that there's a tax difference between salaries and dividends. In a company, it is often the day that you come to sell it. It's often a life-changing moment. A sale of the company they started, earning them millions and millions of pounds. In the UK alone, an average of 4,000 entrepreneurs sell their business every year for more than £1 million. And selling businesses, just so you know, is what the people who started the Young Entrepreneurs Academy do. Blue Box Corporate Finance helps entrepreneurs sell their companies and takes a small fee for doing that. So that's our business, as well as helping young entrepreneurs like you find an appetite in the business world. An entrepreneur selling a great business for the right price can provide them with a huge lump sum of money all at once. And it's what can happen if you go on and build a successful business that others like and one day want to buy. Building and then selling businesses as a serial entrepreneur is a great way to experience business life. You do it again and again, numerous business journeys, possibly making yourself an absolute fortune. Boats, mega yachts, planes, and even private islands are all in reach for the more ambitious. And many entrepreneurs don't even think about selling their business when they first set up. But for you guys, always have it in the back of your mind, as you never know where the future will take you. So if you're ever thinking about that sale of your company one day in the future, do go back to episode 11 and check out what makes a great business and therefore what will make it attractive to many buyers.
Yes, 100%. It's an ambition of ours. We absolutely want to sell the business eventually. When the time is right, we'd love to partner up with a more established streaming platform.
Well, standing here today, I have no ambition of selling the business because the business provides me, my family, and all the people that work here with a great place to work and a very enjoyable platform. And I also feel that the business has the opportunity to grow. There are so many more things that we can do with the business, and I want to personally make the business cleaner and greener. I think as an entrepreneur, if you have things you want to do, a business is a great platform for enabling you to do that. So I have no intention of selling. It might be attractive. You might think, well, you might want to have a boat here or a house here. That's not my game. I'd like to grow the business, develop it. It's a wonderful place. I enjoy coming every day. That's what's important to me. For other entrepreneurs, it may be to run a business and sell it in 5 years, and that's perfectly fine. We all have our own ambitions.
Although across the businesses there will be potential to sell those entities one day, my focus is building to scale, focusing on solving the problem, focusing on delivering value.
Yes, it's a plan to do it within 3 to 5 years. That's the plan that we raised investment off the back of.
That's a really great question because after 12 years, I've just sold my business. I sold my business because the right people came along and instinctively I knew it was the right thing to do and it was time for someone else to pick it up and take it forward.
So that's it for this episode. We're done with companies and getting money out, and we're now moving on to episode 19, where we'll dive into regulation and compliance, ethics and IP.